Good afternoon. In the last class, we were discussing about the non-inverting summing circuit or the non-inverting summing amplifier. As I told you, we'll be giving the different input signals. I can give n input signals to the non-inverting terminal. To the inverting terminal, we have to give negative feedback through this resistance RF, and we also have a resistance R1 connected from inverting terminal to ground. So, first step in our analysis to find what is the output voltage, we have to find what is the voltage at the non-inverting terminal V plus. So, we try to find what is the voltage at the non-inverting terminal V plus due to three input signals being given at this terminal. As I told you, for our analysis, we are going to make use of superposition theorem. According to superposition theorem, we'll be considering only one input to be active at a time and the other two inputs will be grounded. So, when I try to write the equivalent circuit by considering VA as the input signal that is active and VB and VC are grounded, I showed you that because of these two being grounded, we will have R in parallel with R, which results in a value half of R by 2, and the input VA is given through this resistance R. Therefore, the effective voltage here will be V1 or V0A, whatever you want you consider. We call this voltage. To find this voltage, we'll use the voltage divider rule because V1 is the voltage from here to here. VA into R by 2 divided by R plus R by 2. Therefore, the voltage V1 at this point is the input voltage VA into R by 2 divided by R plus R by 2. Like this, we have to find the voltage at this point due to the other two input signals. When VB is working alone, say I'll get V1 as VB into R by 2 by R plus R by 2, and when VC is working alone, again you'll get the same thing. With respect to VC also, we'll get the same voltage again. Now, what we did is we set the total voltage at the non-inverting terminal, V in or V plus, I told you we'll call. So the total voltage at non-inverting terminal due to the superposition theorem is sum of the individual voltages due to VA, VB and VC. So the voltage due to VA is VA into R by 2 by R plus R by 2 plus VB into R by 2 by R plus R by 2 plus VC into R by 2 by R plus R by 2. So this would be the effective voltage V plus at the non-inverting terminal of the op-amp. And we know the inverting terminal has negative feedback and one resistance grounded. So what is the output of this circuit? The output of this circuit will be the input voltage at the non-inverting terminal into 1 plus RF by R1. This is the effective output voltage of the this is the effective output voltage of the non-inverting summing amplifier. All I have to do is I have to substitute this V plus. We could rewrite this V plus as we can see. If I have R by 2 divided by R plus R by 2, I showed you yesterday, this becomes 1 by 3. So VA into 1 by 3 or VA by 3 plus VB by 3 plus VC by 3. Or in other words, the total voltage is VA plus VB plus VC by 3. That is the input given at the non-inverting terminal. Because this happens because we have used all three resistors to be equal. Since all the three resistors are equal in value, I can combine like this and it will simplify to VA plus VB plus VC by 3. And as I told you, the output voltage is V plus into 1 plus RF by R1, which is given as 1 plus RF by R1 into VA plus VB plus VC by 3. So this becomes our expression for output voltage of the non-inverting summing amplifier circuit, which we discussed yesterday. Now I told you we have to see some variants of this. One simple variant which we can do is by observing one simple variant which we can do is by making it work like an averaging amplifier. How do we make it work like an averaging amplifier? Yes? Can somebody tell me how this becomes an averaging circuit? If you notice in the expression for output voltage in this circuit, I already have the average. This is the average value of the three input signals. Only this I want to retain and I want to eliminate this multiplication factor. What do you think we can do? If I eliminate this multiplication factor and retain only this, it will become an averaging circuit, where the output is the positive average of the three input voltages which is given to the non-inverting terminal. What should you do?
R1 should be much larger than RF.
Okay, one option is you make R1 tend to infinity or R1 to be very larger when compared to RF. So this second term will tend to 0. Then RF by R1 will almost approach 0. So it is like multiplying this average with 1. Yes, that is a right solution. Or you try to make RF 0. You can also make RF 0, make R1 infinity or RF 0. In the sense, RF 0 means it's a short circuit. The circuit acts like a voltage follower. It will act like a voltage follower where the output follows the input voltage. So if the input voltage is the average of the three input signals, the output will also be the average of the three input signals if this feedback resistance is 0. Okay. So the non-inverting summing circuit behaves as an averaging amplifier when all the three resistors connected to the input signal sources should be equal. Remember, that is very important. If this is RA, this is RB, this is RC, if all are different, then I won't get the average. If I want the average of these three input signals at this point, then all these three resistors should be equal in magnitude. And what else? We said, okay, the second consideration is how will it work like a summing amplifier. So we saw how it works like an averaging circuit. Can you tell me what is the condition for it to work like a summing amplifier? Again, you have the expression for output given like this. If this is the expression for output voltage, I want the output to be sum of the three input signals multiplied with a gain. Okay, first can you tell me how will it work like an adder? If it should work like a simple adder, what should you do? Yes? I have to remove this 3 from the denominator by multiplying it with the same value. Then the output will be sum of the three signals. Yes or no? You just have to consider 1 plus RF by R1 should be 3. So that this cancels out and you will get V0 as VA plus VB plus VC. So RF by R1 will be 2, 3 minus 1, or RF should be 2 times R1. That's the simple way. And remember again, when we are doing all this, I can use this expression only if all these 3 resistors are the same. All the 3 should be R. Unless and until all these 3 resistors are the same, you will not even get this expression for output voltage. So the first condition for this non-inverting adding circuit or summing circuit to work like a simple adder is to have all the 3 resistors RA, RB, RC equal to R, and the second condition is to make RF as 2 times R1 so that I will have these factors cancel out each other. 1 plus RF by R1 and 3 will cancel out. You will have the output as the sum of the input signals. Okay, now I told you for adder. Now can you tell me for summing amplifier what should I do? If I should get the output as the sum of the 3 input signals multiplied with some gain, what should you do? Very simple. Everything is there in this equation only. Just look at this equation and tell me what can be done. Yeah. Please tell me something. This factor 1 plus RF by R1 should be greater than 3. As simple as that. If this multiplication factor is more than 3, you are going to get this ratio of 1 plus RF by R1 by 3 to be some positive value, and when I multiply it to the sum of the voltages, it becomes a summing amplifier. So therefore you will get K to be more than 1, and hence the circuit works like a summing amplifier. As simple as that. So if it is greater than 3, it is a summing amplifier. It will add all the 3 input signals and it will multiply it with a positive gain. If you don't want this gain to be a decimal, if you want it to be an integer, then you should say this should be n times 3 or an integer multiple of 3. You choose 1 plus RF by R1 to be an integer multiple of 3. 2 into 3, 3 into 3, something like that. Then you will get K to be an integer value more than 1. Is that clear? This is for the circuit to work like a summing amplifier. Again, the same thing is written here. Okay. So, as I told you, for a summing amplifier, the gain will be 1 plus RF by R1 should be more than 3. Okay. I want you people to try out this problem. Do it. In the given circuit, we have supply voltages plus or minus 15 volts. VA is plus 2 volts. VB is minus 3. VA is 2. VB minus 3. VC plus 4 volts. All these R values are 1 kilo ohm. All the R values are 1 kilo ohm and RF is 2 kilo ohm. So this is 2 kilo ohm. This is 1K. Even all these resistors are 1K. You're supposed to find the voltage at the non-inverting terminal and the output voltage. So V1 he's telling is the voltage at the non-inverting terminal. Find that and find V0. It's a direct problem. What will be the voltage at the non-inverting terminal? We have already determined it in the last slide. It is VA plus VB plus VC divided by 3. Yes or no? The voltage at this point, as you can see in this derivation, here the voltage V plus at the non-inverting terminal, by using the principle of superposition, we considered only one input to be active at a time and the other two inputs not being active. You got the expression for output voltage to be VA plus VB plus VC by 3. So using that, I want you to substitute and find out what is V1. And once you find out V1, you will be able to find V0. So you have 2 minus 3 plus 4.
1 volt.
1, no? Yeah, 1 volt. And what is V0 then? 1 plus RF by R1. Now it's a non-inverting amplifier. You know the voltage at the non-inverting terminal. That voltage gets multiplied with the gain 1 plus RF by R1. So RF is 2K, R1 is 1K, and V1 is 1 volt. So it is 3 volts, right? 1 plus 2 is 3 into 1 volt. The output voltage is 3 volts in this circuit. Assume that the op-amp is initially null. He says there is no error or offset voltage in the op-amp. Okay, the same thing. Okay, try out this. Get a non-inverting summing, given a non-inverting summing amplifier and the output equation, find out the relation between RF and R. This resistance RF and R. See, the output should be V1 plus V2 plus V3. We have already done this. Output should be the sum of the 3 input signals. When all these 3 resistors are equal, the voltage at this point will be average of the 3 signals. Yes or no? V1 plus V2 plus V3 by 3. Just now we saw. Because all these 3 resistors are equal to R, through which we are giving 3 different inputs. If I use superposition, I was able to show that the voltage at the non-inverting terminal is just the average of the 3 input signals, V1 plus V2 plus V3 divided by 3. Now, that gets multiplied with the gain of this circuit. Therefore, the output voltage is 1 plus RF by R. Remember, I have R only here, RF by R, into VA, which will be 1 plus RF by R into V1 plus V2 plus V3 by 3. If you want the output to be just V1 plus V2 plus V3, what should be the condition for 1 plus RF by R? For
RF should be twice.
That's all. For V0 to be V1 plus V2 plus V3, 1 plus RF by R should be 3, or RF should be equal to 2 times R. That's all. We had considered this condition in the last slide itself. So that's all we need to write. RF should be equal to 2R. They've done the complete derivation, such a lengthy procedure. Since we already did it, I just skipped the initial steps and we directly considered the voltage here. He has found the voltage at this terminal by using superposition equation, adding all the values. Find that VA is so much, and then in the exam, depending on the marks, you can directly consider this. It's not an issue. Okay, with all these example problems, let's move on to the next category of op-amp application amplifier, that is a differential amplifier, or we call it as a differential configuration of op-amp or a differential amplifier. Here actually the op-amp is used as its original design. Op-amp is supposed to be an amplifier which amplifies the difference between the two input signals, right? We defined an op-amp as a circuit, a high gain amplifier that amplifies the difference between two input signals. But till now, we are usually considering one input signal either at inverting or non-inverting, and we are amplifying it. Or we consider 2 or 3 inputs at the same terminal, we'll add or average it, whatever. We could do all those things. But ideally, an op-amp was designed to take the difference between the inputs given to its two input terminals and amplify it. And you can ask me one question. Since an op-amp is designed for that purpose itself, why do I need all these additional resistors or circuitry here? Can someone tell me? Op-amp is supposed to take the difference of the input signals given to the two terminals and amplify it and provide it at the output. Then why are you connecting so many resistors in this circuit? Yes? What is the point in connecting all these resistors? We are trying to do the same task for which the op-amp was designed. I told you one point initially. What is the gain of the op-amp? The ideal gain of the op-amp is infinity. Even practically, it is in the range of 10 to the power of 5 or 10 to the power of 6. When we have, yes, anybody wants to answer? This is the most important hint there. Since an op-amp has such a large gain, even when there is a very small difference, this VA minus VB, even when it is in microvolts or greater when it is say in milli or a little greater than few microvolts, the output V0 will exceed what? The saturation voltage. It will exceed the saturation voltage. And I told you what would be the saturation voltage in an op-amp. The saturation voltage will be almost 90% of VCC, or even if you want, I told you can consider as approximately equal to VCC or VEE. For positive, it is plus VCC. For negative, it is minus VEE. Remember, these are the DC biasing voltages given for the op-amp to work correctly as an amplifier. So whatever job the op-amp is supposed to do, it will do its job only when we give the biasing power supplies properly. Okay, remember that. With the biasing power supplies given, they will put a limit on the maximum output voltage that is possible for an op-amp. The op-amp output voltage can never be greater than its biasing power supply. Is that clear? Please keep this in mind. If the biasing power supply is plus 12 volts, the highest output voltage which I will get will be nearing plus 12. It may stop at 11 volts, it may reach 11.5, 11.8, whatever. You will get the maximum output voltage to be positive saturation if I give plus 12 here. And if I give minus 12, the lowest output will be minus VSAT, which will be around minus 11 or minus 11.5, so on. So please remember, the op-amp, when it is used without any negative feedback, it will not give you an output voltage that will change according to the input. I had shown you the transfer characteristics of op-amp if you remember in the beginning. See, an op-amp has a transfer characteristics which looks something like this. this region where the output voltage is changing linearly with input voltage is very, very small. It is in the microvolts range. This may be 0.5 micro and this may be minus 0.5, something like that, or 1 micro and minus 1. Only for such low input voltages, the output voltage will increase or change linearly depending on the input. So in this region where I have the output is the gain times input. It's working like a normal amplifier. But if this input voltage, this is your differential input. Remember, it is VA minus VB or VB minus VA, whatever. In this case, VB is given to the non-inverting terminal. So it is VB minus VA. If this differential input voltage will be more than 0.5 micro or 1 micro, the output of the op-amp will continuously remain in positive saturation. And if that differential input voltage is less than 0.5 micro or 1 micro, the output will remain in negative saturation. So you can't use the op-amp at all as an amplifier if it is something like this. We can't give such low input voltages. I want to give input voltage of 1 volt and I want to get the output as 9 volts or 10 volts. I can't do anything like that. I'll not have any control. If we want some control on the gain of the op-amp, it is possible by giving negative feedback by connecting a resistor from the output terminal to the inverting input. So negative feedback is a must for an op-amp to be designed to make it work like give different applications. So even if it has to work like a differential amplifier, where it will amplify the difference between the two input signals with a gain, if I have to have some control on the gain, I need to give negative feedback. And when I give negative feedback, automatically I have to add some more resistors in the circuit like R1, R2, R3 and all. They will help in designing this circuit for it to give a particular gain. So how do we analyze this circuit? I hope all of you understood this concept. Please remember this always. In an op-amp, you should never give the input difference voltage to be more than a few micro volts. I can't have more than 2 or 3 microvolts. After that, the output of the op-amp will go off to saturation. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Let's try to get the expression for output voltage in this circuit.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Yes.
Ma'am, whatever we apply, if we assume like if we are applying 10 volt and if we are getting the output as 90%, then it's not amplifying good, ma'am.
It will be amplifying, but you will not be able to see the amplified version. Say if you have the differential input as you told as 10 volts, okay? And the output will be 10 into, let me say the gain of the op-amp is 10 power 6. And a practical op-amp, let's say it has a gain of 10 power 6. So what is the final output voltage? The final output voltage is 10 to the power of 7 volts. But with the given DC voltage, it is impossible to see such a large voltage at the output. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
It is not at all possible. See, remember a transistor will have 3 regions of operation: saturation, cutoff and active region. If a transistor goes to saturation, remember its voltage will be very less, current will be high. Whereas a transistor is in cutoff, the voltage drop across the transistor will be equal to this DC voltage what we have given, but never more than that. So I can never have a voltage which is output voltage which is more than the DC power supply which is given to the circuit. So what happens, even though it will actually amplify, you have no way of visualizing such a large voltage because I can't give DC voltages in this range. If I want to visualize such a large voltage, I should give DC voltages as something maybe 12 into 10 power 7 and minus 12 into 10 power 7. Imagine that. All that is impossible. That's why we always have a limiting factor because of the DC power supplies. So even if it actually amplifies, what you notice, you will be noticing an output voltage of just 11 volts or some whatever you have. 11, if you have given plus 12 volts, you will see something around 11 or 11.5 volts as the saturation voltage, and you'll never see, you'll just have a straight line. It will never go above that. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please remember that it is not at all possible for us to, though there is a gain, you can't visualize that gain and you can't obtain that gain because of the limiting DC power supplies. Okay, so let's try to derive an expression for the output voltage. Here also we'll be making use of superposition theorem. According to superposition theorem, we can consider one input to be active at a time and the other grounded, and we'll find what is the output voltage because of that input, and later on we will add both. So we will say both are active together. Though we have analyzed one at a time, it is always both signals are active together. So we will add up both. What is the effect of both at the output? So first let's consider VA. If VA is considered, VB will be 0. So the first condition, consider VA to be active and VB to be 0. So what happens in this circuit? This circuit is now behaving like an inverting amplifier. VA is the input given to the inverting terminal through a resistance R1 and the feedback resistance is RF. So what will be the value of output voltage? The output voltage because of this input signal V out at A or due to A is nothing but the gain of the inverting amplifier minus RF by R1 into VA. Yes or no? See, these two resistors which are connected to ground, R2 parallel R3, connected from non-inverting terminal to ground, have no other effect on the output voltage. Their only job is to minimize the error or offset voltage. Okay. So you can see that the circuit now becomes an inverting amplifier and hence the output voltage will be the input voltage VA into minus RF by R1. Done. We have considered VA active and VB grounded. Next you consider VA grounded and this VB is active. So when this is active and this is grounded, what happens? The input is given at the non-inverting terminal through resistor R2. So now I have to determine what is the voltage which appears exactly at this terminal. I have a voltage divider network consisting of two resistors R2 and R3, and VB is the signal which is connected. So this is VB, let me say. It is connected across R2 and R3, and I'm interested in finding the voltage across R3. That is your V plus. Whatever is shown as V plus here, it's the voltage across R3. What would the value be? It would be VB into R3 by R2 plus R3. So since this VB gets divided among the two resistors, the value of V plus at the non-inverting terminal is VB into R3 by R2 plus R3. Once you find this V plus, now your job is easy. You know the circuit has an input voltage V plus at the non-inverting terminal. It has a resistor R1 connected to ground at the inverting terminal and RF is the negative feedback. So what is the output voltage here? The circuit is a simple non-inverting amplifier. The output voltage is V plus into 1 plus RF by R1. So V out due to the input VB, I'll call it as V out of B. It is 1 plus RF by R1 into V plus. You substitute the value of V plus, which is R3 into VB by R2 plus R3, as you can see here, into 1 plus RF by R1. So what did we do now? We used superposition. We considered VA to be active and VB to be grounded first. Then the circuit would act like a simple inverting amplifier, and the output voltage V out due to A was given as minus RF by R1 into VA. Okay, I hope it is clear. Next, what we did, we considered VA to be grounded and VB to be active. So when VA is grounded and VB is active, we have to find what is the exact voltage which appears at the non-inverting terminal, because this VB is not directly given to the non-inverting terminal. So our first step in any non-inverting amplifier is to find what is the direct voltage at the non-inverting terminal. To do that, we can easily use the voltage divider rule. We'll find the voltage V plus across R3 as VB R3 by R2 plus R3. Now, I know V plus, I know the circuit is acting like a non-inverting amplifier with gain 1 plus RF by R1. So I will write the expression at the output. V out due to the input signal VB is 1 plus RF by R1 into R3 VB by R2 plus R3. Now, what do we do at the end of superposition? We just have to add up both the cases. So according to superposition theorem, the output voltage V out will be V out due to the signal VA, V out of A, and the output voltage due to signal VB. So you just add both the output signals which we have here. This will be the exact expression for the output voltage of a differential amplifier. So here, as you can see, this can be approximated as, if I call all this as say A into VB minus, if I call this ratio as B into VA. So I can say I'm getting the output voltage expression to be a scaled difference between the two inputs. The input VB is scaled by a different factor. Scaling means multiplying. VB gets multiplied with a different factor, 1 plus RF by R1, R3 by R2 plus R3. And the input VA gets multiplied or scaled by a different factor B, which is RF by R1. And the final output voltage expression is a scaled difference between the input signals, A times VB minus B times VA. Remember, always the signal which is connected to the positive or non-inverting terminal should be taken as positive. The one connected to the inverting terminal should be taken as negative. Is this clear? So this is the expression for output voltage of a difference amplifier. Now, just like how we did in adder, let's consider modifying this circuit slightly using the expression. We'll take some conditions for the resistors and we'll be able to make it like a difference amplifier and a subtractor. So the expression for output is like this. I want you to think over and tell me. Yes, can you think over and tell me what should be the condition on all the resistors? Already you can see it in the picture. If I want this circuit to just act like a subtractor, if you want the circuit to act like a subtractor, that means the output should be VB minus VA. I want the output to be the difference of the two input signals. What should you do? See, VB is in the first term if I have to retain only VB in the first term, what can I do? I have to make this ratio simple. 1 plus Rf by R1 should be made equal to R3 by R2 plus R3, yeah? Or it should be reverse. R2 plus R3 by R3 should be same as this. In that case, this term and this term, R3 by R2 plus R3 will cancel out. So if you equate this resistance ratios, see this is nothing but 1 plus R2 by R3. If you make 1 plus Rf by R1 same as 1 plus R2 by R3, these two terms, this and this term will cancel out, only VB will be left out. That is one way of doing it. If I want just VB to left out in the first term. But in the second term also, I want only VA to be left out. So if VA should be left out in the second term, you have to make Rf equal to R1. So if you make Rf equal to R1, I'll have 1 into VA. Then I'll get the output voltage as VB minus VA directly. This is one way of doing it. What's the other way? So one way is to equate the resistance ratios 1 plus Rf by R1 with 1 plus R2 by R3. Or in other words, Rf by R1 should be equal to, here if I simplify this much further, I'll say Rf by R1 should be equal to R2 by R3. But for the second condition, when I make Rf equal to R1, if Rf becomes equal to R1, then R2 will also become equal to R3. So the easiest way to do that is equate all the resistors. All the 4 resistors which we have in the circuit. This was R1, this was Rf, this was R2, this was R3. All the 4 resistors can be equated to a common resistor. You will get the output voltage expression as VB minus VA. Okay, now if I want this to work like a difference amplifier, can you tell me how you will do it? Here the circuit is working like a subtractor. If you want the circuit to work like a difference amplifier, analyze and tell me, I want the output voltage to be some gain into the difference between the 2 input signals. So this K is a gain. Gain into difference between the 2 input signals. How would you do it?
Resistors should be.
Yes. You just consider R1, these 2 resistors are equal. This is R1, this is R2. Make these 2 resistors equal and these 2 resistors equal. Simple. I have to make the resistance ratios equal so that I'll be taking out a common ratio. If I make R1 equal to R2 and Rf equal to R3, so these 2 resistors are equal and these 2 are equal. What will happen to this expression? You will have this factor, this will be 1 plus Rf by R1 and this will be R3 is equal to Rf and here R2 is R1 into VB. So this will be 1 plus Rf by R1 and here also, will it cancel out? Will it cancel out or will it remain? What will remain in this expression? See, if you simplify these 2 factors, R3 is made equal to RF and R2 is made equal to R1. What will happen to this? This first factor, can I write it as R1 plus RF by R1? Yes or no? So R1 plus RF and R1 plus RF cancels out. I have RF term here and R1 term here, which is retained. So RF by R1 will be left out from the first term, and VB, RF by R1 into VB. And from the second term also RF by R1 is left out. So you can take out RF by R1 as the common factor into VB minus VA. So what am I getting? I am getting an output voltage which is a multiple of VB minus VA. The difference between the two input voltages is amplified by a factor RF by R1. Okay. So the difference between the two input voltages is amplified by a factor RF by R1. Hence we call it as a difference amplifier. Please remember, when you are calling it as a difference amplifier, when you are calling it as a difference scaling or scaling difference amplifier, when do you call it as a subtractor? All these conditions, if you remember, it would be easy for you to solve the problems. So as we already discussed, if all the four resistors in the circuit are equal, the output will simply be VB minus VA, which is the subtractor circuit. Any doubts with this so far? Do you have any doubts? Okay, if you don't have any doubts, now I'll give you a job. I want you to find this output voltage for this circuit. Do the analysis and tell me how you will get this expression. We have already given the expression for the output voltage. Please analyze this circuit and tell me. See, this circuit is a combination of difference amplifier and a inverting adder. Inverting adder, non-inverting adder and difference amplifier, all three are clubbed together, mixed up together. Can you show how the expression for output voltage will be minus VA minus VB plus VC plus VD? Just try to do it. Superposition, as usual, use superposition theorem. Or if you remember the expressions, you can do it a little more faster. Okay, fine. You can just have a look at this. Quickly, I'll brush up how to analyze this circuit using superposition. If I consider only VA to be active here, then all these three are grounded. VB is grounded, VC and VD all are grounded. So what will happen to the equivalent circuit? It will look something like this. So this R is grounded, VA is given through this R. You are first supposed to find what is the voltage here. Okay, and the other terminal we have three resistors, three R's connected to ground. So let's try to analyze this circuit. What will be the value of output voltage VOA? It will simply be, what is the effective resistance here? It is VA into minus RF by R. And what is R value? It is simply equal to R in this circuit. This grounded resistor has no effect at all. So you will simply see that the output voltage VOA in this circuit is that of the circuit is working like an inverting amplifier. So this circuit has no effect, this R. You can just see the input VA is fed through a resistance R to the inverting terminal and the feedback resistor is also R. So the output voltage is minus RF by R1 into VA. RF is equal to R and R1 is equal to R. Therefore, the output voltage is minus VA. Clear? When VA alone was active in the circuit, the output voltage VOA will be simply equal to minus VA. Similarly, on the same lines, if this becomes VB, VB is active, VA is grounded. This is VA which is grounded. VC and VD are also grounded. So it will be the same circuit which we analyze again. So the output due to VB being active, VOB will be minus R by R into VB, which is nothing but minus VB. Okay. So the inverting terminal inputs have been analyzed and we've seen what will be the outputs due to the inputs given at the inverting terminal. Now, I want to find the effect of voltages given at the non-inverting terminal VC and VD, for which again I should ground VA, VB and VD and consider only VC to be active. So if VC alone is active, only one of the inputs here, this is VC, VD and we already have had one R connected to ground. Even this is grounded. All these are grounded. So what will happen to the output voltage? Can you tell me? We had already done this. VC through R and the effective combination of these two resistors in parallel will be R by 2. So can I find what is the voltage at this terminal? And what do I have at the non-inverting terminal? At the non-inverting terminal, I have a single resistor R as the feedback resistor. And here I have R in parallel with R. So this resistance will be R by 2. See, both these resistors are in parallel here. So the effective resistance here is R by 2. I hope you're getting this. See, you're free to ask questions if you are not getting at any point of time. If you have any doubts, please ask. What I'm trying to do here is, I'm considering the voltage VC to be active. See, this is VC. If this is active, this is grounded and all these are grounded. Okay. And for that, I showed you the equivalent circuit. Because VC is active through this resistance R and I have two more R's which are grounded, which are in parallel, their effective resistance here will be R by 2. And even at the inverting terminal, we have two R's which are grounded. So their effective resistance is also R by 2. The feedback resistance remains as it is. We are just using our network analysis principle. So can you, how do you find the output voltage VOC here? If you have to find VOC, first you have to find this V1. What is the voltage V1 at the non-inverting terminal? If you find that, only then you will find VOC. Can you tell me what is V1? The same thing we are repeating again and again, so many times. Only different circuits. Voltage divider VC into R by 2 divided by R plus R by 2. Since this voltage VC gets divided among two resistors R and R by 2, so the effective value of V1 will be VC into R by 2. And what will this result in? This will be VC by 3. We saw when I simplify this, 2R plus R, 3R by 2 and R by 2. I'll have 3 in the denominator. R will cancel out. So what will be the output voltage VOC then? So V1 becomes VC by 3. Therefore, the output voltage VOC will be VC by 3 into 1 plus R by 2. Anyway, we'll find the voltage due to VD also. As we had done in the non-inverting summer, quickly, the output voltage due to VOC, as I told you, is, it is a non-inverting circuit whose gain is 1 plus RF by R1. RF is R, R1 is R by 2. So the gain is 1 plus R divided by R by 2 into the input voltage at the non-inverting terminal, that is V1. What is the input voltage at the non-inverting terminal? Vc by 3, and 1 plus R by 2 will result in the value 3. So the final output voltage which I get when Vc is active is Vc itself. You will get the same voltage. And it will be the same analysis if I have to consider Vd active. So in this, if Vd should be active and all the others should be grounded, it will appear similar to how we did for Vc. So you'll find that the output voltage due to Vd will be Vd itself. Hence, according to superposition, what will be the final output voltage? Sum of the output voltages due to the individual input signals, VOA plus VOB plus VOC plus VOD. Each value we have already found, you simply add. Hence, you have proved that the output voltage in this circuit is as shown. Okay. The next problem is given. I want you to try solving this as you drop in your USNs. All of you can drop in your USNs and also try solving this problem. If you have any doubts with the previous problem or anything else discussed today, please ask. See, this problem is based on the previous circuit only. Figure 6.9 is this. Okay. So the problem given is based on the previous circuit. Same circuit, yeah, it's here. We have already found an expression for the output voltage of this circuit. So if all the 4 input voltages are given, can't you directly determine what is V0? Very simple. V0 is minus VA minus VB plus VC plus VD. So what is VA? It is plus 2 volts. I should take minus of plus 2. And what is VB? It is plus 3. So minus of plus 3. What is VC? It is plus 4 volts. And what is VD? Plus 5 volts. So what's the output voltage? 9 minus 5. Are we getting 4 volts? Anybody? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
The output voltage will be 4 volts. Fine. With this, we have completed op-amp working as AC amplifier, op-amp as DC amplifiers, op-amp working as a summing amplifier where we can make the op-amp work like an adder, a scaling adder, scaled adder, and a summing amplifier, where the sum of the input signals will be multiplied with a gain. Or if I want it to be an adder, just add the input signals. We also studied the op-amp working like a difference amplifier, and the various categories of difference amplifier are a scaled difference can be obtained. I can get the output as A times V1 minus B times V2, scaled difference of the input voltages. Or you can have the output equal to the difference of the input, VB minus VA, subtractor. Or you can have the output equal to the difference which is amplified, RF by R1 into VB minus VA, which is what? A difference amplifier. It's amplifying the difference between the two input signals. So, and we also saw how in a common circuit like this, we can get addition, subtraction together. I'm adding 2 signals, I'm subtracting 2 signals. If you can get anything like this designed easily. So given an expression, you should be able to write the corresponding circuit, or given the circuit, you should be able to write the output expression. Is this clear? Anything can be asked with respect to adders and subtractors.